ओम नगराज सुताजानये नमः। ओम नगराज निजालयाय नमः। ओम नवमाणिक्यमालाढ्याय नमः। ओम नवचंद्रशिखामणये नमः। ओम नंदितशेषमौनीन्द्राय नमः। ओम नंदीशादिमदेशिकाय नमः। ओम मोहनलसुधासाराय नमः। ओम मोहाम्बुजसुधाकराय नमः। ओम मोहांधकारतरणये नमः। ओम मोहोत्पलनभोमनये नमः। ओम भक्तज्ञानाब्धिशीतांशवे नमः। ओम भक्तज्ञानतृणालयाय नमः। ओम भक्तांबोजसहस्रांशवे नमः। ओम भक्तकेकिघनाघनाय नमः। ओम भक्तकैरवराकेन्दवे नमः। ओम भक्तकोकदिवाकराय नमः। ओम गजाननादिसम्पूज्याय नमः। ओम गजचर्मोज्ज्वलाकृतये नमः। ओम गंगाधवलदिव्यांगाय नमः। ओम गंगापङ्किलसज्जटाय नमः। ओम गगनाम्बरसंभीताय नमः। ओम गगनामुक्तमूर्धजाय नमः। ओम वदनाब्जजिताब्जश्रिये नमः। ओम वदनेन्दुस्फुरद्दशाय नमः। ओम वरदानैकनिपुणाय नमः। ओम वनवीरोज्ज्वलत्कराय नमः। ओम वनवाससमुल्लासाय नमः। ओम वनवीरैकलोलुपाय नमः। ओम तेजभुञ्जघनाकाराय नमः। सामपि भासकाय नमः। ओम विनेयानां तेजप्रदाय नमः। ओम तेजोमयनजाश्रमाय नमः। ओम दमितानङ्गसङ्ग्रामाय नमः। ओम दरहासजुताङ्गनाय नमः। ओम दयारससुधासिन्धवे नमः। ओम दरिद्रधनशेवधये नमः। ओम क्षीरेन्दुस्फटिकाकाराय नमः। ओम क्षीरेन्दुमुकुटोज्ज्वलाय नमः। ओम क्षीरोपहाररसिकाय नमः। ओम क्षिप्रैश्वर्यफलप्रदाय नमः। ओम नानाभरणमुग्धांगाय नमः। ओम नारीसम्मोहनाकृतये नमः। ओम नागब्रह्मरसास्वादिने नमः। ओम नागभूषणभूषिताय नमः। ओम मूर्तिनन्दितकन्दर्पाय नमः। ओम मूर्तामूर्तजगत्वपुषे नमः। ओम मूलाज्ञानतमोभानवे नमः। ओम मूर्तिमत्कल्पपादपाय नमः। ओम तरुणादित्यसङ्काशाय नमः। ओम तन्त्रीवादनतत्पराय नमः। ओम तरुमूलैकनिलयाय नमः। ओम तप्तजाम्बूनदप्रभाय नमः। ओम तत्पुस्तोलसत्पाणये नमः। ओम तपनोडुपलोचनाय नमः। ओम यमसंयुमसंयुताय नमः। ओम यमसंयुमस ओम यतिरूप ओम यमसन्नुतसत्कीर्तये नमः। ओम यमसंयुमसंयुताय नमः। ओम यतिरूपधराय मौनिने नमः। ओम यतीन्द्रोपासविग्रहाय नमः। ओम मंदारहाररुचिराय नमः। ओम मंदस्मितसततवक्त्राय नमः। ओम मधुराधरपल्लवाय नमः। ओम मंजीरमणिपादाब्जाय नमः। ओम मणिपट्टोलसत्कटये नमः। ओम हस्ताङ्कुरितचन्मुद्राय नमः। ओम हठयोगपरोत्तमाय नमः। ओम हंसजप्यक्षमालाढ्याय नमः। ओम हंसेद्वाराध्यपादुकाय नमः। ओम मेरुशृङ्गतटोल्लासाय नमः। ओम मेघश्याममनोहराय नमः। ओम मेधाङ्कुरालवालाग्र्याय नमः। ओम मेधापक्वद्रुमाय नमः। ओम धार्मिकान्तर्गुहावासाय नमः। ओम धर्ममार्गप्रवर्तकाय नमः। ओम धामत्रयनिजारामाय नमः। ओम धर्मोत्तममनोरथाय नमः। ओम प्रबोधोद्गारदीपश्रिये नमः। ओम प्रकाशितजगत्र्याय नमः। ओम प्रज्ञाचन्द्रशिलाचन्द्राय नमः। ओम प्रज्ञामणिवराकराय नमः। ओम ज्ञानान्तर्भासात्मने नमः। ओम ज्ञातृज्ञातिकुलागताय नमः। ओम ज्ञातृज्ञातिविदूरगाय नमः। ओम ज्ञानज्ञाद्वैतदिव्यांगाय नमः। ओम ज्ञातृख्यालिगुतागताय नमः। ओम प्रपन्नपारिजाताग्र्याय नमः। ओम प्रणतार्थब्धिवाडवाय नमः। ओम भूतानां प्रमाणभूताय नमः। ओम प्रपंचहितकारकाय नमः। ओम यत्तत्त्वमसि संवेद्याय नमः। ओम यक्षगेयात्मवैभवाय नमः। ओम यज्ञादिदेवतामूर्तये नमः। ओम यजमानवपुर्धराय नमः। ओम छत्राधिपतिविश्वेशाय नमः। ओम छन्दसात्मरसेविताय नमः। ओम छन्दशास्त्रादिनिपुणाय नमः। ओम छलजात्यादिदूरिगाय नमः। ओम स्वाभाविकसुखैकात्मने नमः। ओम स्वाराज्यसम्पदध्याक्षाय नमः। ओम स्वात्मा राममहामतये नमः। ओम हाटखाभजटाजूटाय नमः। ओम हासोदस्तारिमण्डलाय नमः। ओम हालाहलोज्ज्वलगलाय नमः। ओम हार्दग्रन्थिविमोचकाय नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम श्रीमद् परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य वर्य श्री दयानंद सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री महेशानंद सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। Okay. So we'll do meditation today. Okay. प्रातस्मरामि हृदि संस्फुरदात्मतत्त्वं सच्चित्सुखं परमहंसगतिं तुरीयं यत्स्वप्नजागर सुषुप्तमवैति नित्यं तद्ब्रह्म निष्कलमहं न च भूतसङ्गः। Let us meditate on the meaning of the Karika number 27, सर्वस्य प्रणवो ह्यादिः मध्यम अन्तस्तथा एव च एवं हि प्रणवं ज्ञात्वा व्यश्नुते तदनन्तरम्। एवं हि प्रणवो ज्ञात्वा, knowing the Omkara, Om, thus प्रणवः सर्वस्य आदिः मध्यम अन्तस्तथा एव च। So this shloka, this Karika number 27, is a dhyana shloka, one where I should meditate on. It says, that Omkara should be seen in which all beginning, sustenance, and ending are contained. I meditate upon an independent vastu, an independent entity which is Omkara, which is the name of Atma. Atma means me, the self, I, the self. Omkara is the name of Brahman, the Atma. Both the Jivatma and Paramatma. Only one Atma, Brahman. Omkara is the name of Brahman. Omkara is the common name of everyone. Here, from our own standpoint, Omkara is the name of myself. Not a given name, not a temporary name, but my real name. My real name because it represents my reality. It is an appropriate name. This name which is given by my creator, Ishvara, not the creator in this life, but my original creator, transcending all lives. I meditate upon the appropriateness of this name. The appropriateness of this vastu, which is me. An independent entity which is free to have a relationship with the creation, but doesn't have to. It stands independent of the creation. This fact is pointed out in this karika. Sarvasya pranavo hyadihi madhyam antastatha evacha. Adi madhyam antam. I meditate upon the nature of this name, the nature of the vastu that has this name. The nature is one which entertains all beginnings. The entire prapancha, the entire creation is characterized by a beginning, a sustenance, and a dissolution. I should see in my meditation the truth of this fact. This truth is most poignantly pointed out in the dream. The dream springs from me is sustained by me and dissolves in me. An experience of total ignorance characterized by sleep also begins in me and dissolves back in me. In the waking state, consisting of many experiences, continuous experiences, has the same characteristic. Whether you take an experience singly or collectively, it does not violate this truth. All experiences spring forth from you even when they are going on. You sustain them, you entertain them, and then they end in you. Like continuous waves of a river. So this nature of the self I meditate on. A self which is necessary in order for all created things to be begun, to be sustained, and to be dissolved into. And this vastu, this self, is independent of the experiences. This fact is never violated. There are no exceptions to this rule. And as such, it is unaffected by them. The Swapna Avastha, the Jagrata Avastha, and the Sushupti Avastha, all three states have the same characteristic. The whole life the birth of the body, the death of the body, has exactly the same characteristic. The length and the breadth vary. The peculiar experiences vary. But the principle remains the same. Lives begin in the self, and lives end back into the self. Just like a dream begins in the self and ends in the self. I meditate upon this fact. This is a truth which is elusive at first, but I follow the vision of the Shruti, and it begins to become clearer. If it does, then I never lose myself. I become continuous, independent of time, independent of space. So I meditate upon the meaning of this karika, sarvasya pranavo hi adihi pranavaha omkara. Means the self, the name of the self. Pranavaha sarvasya adihi, of everything, without exception. The entirety of the creation in my life, in anybody's life. Sarvasya pranavo hi adihi madhyam antas tatha evacha. I can see the beginning in me, and I see the same sustenance and the dissolution in me alone. Evam hi pranavam jnatva. By knowing the meaning of this name Pranavaha, the nature of the Vastu Pranavaha, the appropriateness of the name Pranavaha, Vyashnute Tadanantaram, I gain, so to speak. There's not a gain of the not yet gained, but it is a gain of the already gained. Vyashnute Anantaram. I gain immortality. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakata Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavatyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Ukarastvandakaroy Ukarastvanivartakaha Andhakaranidodhitvat Gururityadhiyate Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us chant verse number 28, Karika number 28. Pranavam Hishwaram Vidyat, Pranavam Hishwaram Vidyat, Sarvasya Hridi Samsthitam, Sarvavyapinam Omkaram, Matva Dhiro Nashochati. So Pranavam Hi Ishwaram Vidyat. May it be known that Omkara is indeed Ishvara. Sarvasya Hridi Samsthitam. It is present in the hearts of all. Sarvasya Hridi Samsthitam. Sarvavyapinam Omkaram Matva dhiro na shochati. And so knowing this Omkara to be present everywhere, all pervading, dhiraha, the discriminating person, no longer has any problems, does not grieve anymore. Life is really basically a series of complaints. This is what life is all about. All this is the moments where you are completely satisfied are very few. Most of the time we are complaining, either complaining about the past or more importantly about the future, what's going to happen now. Just when you are totally satisfied for a while, it doesn't stay for that long, and immediately you start thinking about what's next. So it's a series of complaints. So this is what is, and then of course you have exacerbated problems. Even if life is okay, the okay life itself also has a lot of complaints, full of complaints. But then if you have some special problems, health problems, money problems, emotional problems, then the grief becomes more acute. So there is grieving throughout the life, really speaking. Swami Dayanand, his favorite expression of this was that we are like the drowning person. Really, when you think about it, the samsara of life, the samsara life is like a samudram. It's like a sea. And if you were to, for example, fall off a boat in the middle of the sea, what would your life be like? And suppose you know a little bit of swimming, like I do. I can swim for about 2 or 3 minutes. That's about it. And I was telling you, I nearly drowned. Very nearly drowned. My gosh, that I have 2 or 3 brushes of life, and the last one only was like 6-7 years ago. Very foolish. We had gone on to Hawaii with my son and my 2 granddaughters, and the whole family had gone there. And they went out for a snorkeling trip. So they were all fitting themselves with the snorkel, and the ship takes them to the middle of the sea, and then they all jump off and they start snorkeling. So they asked me, you should also come. So I said, no, you guys all know swimming. I don't. I'm not going to do that. So they said, no, we need you. We're all together. Oh, finally, I said, okay, mistake. So for a while I was snorkeling, okay, this thing was moving out. I was breathing. Then somehow water got into it. Yeah. And I tell you, that salty water and so on, and I started to struggle. Luckily for me, we had my 2 sons were close by, so we had already decided that if you're ever in trouble, raise your hand. Well, I immediately raised my hand. And I came really this close to drowning. And the whole thing was spoiled and so on. I said, this is my fault. I should never have really agreed to it. And so, so Swami Dayanand used to say that life is just like a drowning person. It is not like a drowned person. The drowned person has no problems. This is why when you have a death in the family, the person who has died has no problems. He's gone. He's got it nice. He's ready to take a birth as a small baby, new life and so on. The rest of the people that are left behind, they have a lot of grieving left to do. And so Swamiji used to say that life is like a drowning person, because just when you think you are going to drown, you wake up and you say, no, I think I'll be okay. And you are just, flapping and so on and so forth. Grieving. So this Karika says that if you were to know something this grieving will be over. The whole grieving of the life is over. And the word grieving is a rather serious one, but the problems of life will be completely over. How? He says, Pranavam hi Ishwaram vidyat sarvasya hridi samsthitam sarva vyapinam omkaram matva. Matva means that having, and so here the word matva is an interesting one. Swami Maheshananji has been pointed out that up until this point, this is a dhyana shloka, not a jnana shloka. The jnana shlokas will come later. So this is a dhyana shloka, means, as we have been studying this, that the nature of knowledge is, first of all, the name, then idhyanam, and then jnanam. Dhyeya Brahma, Jnaya Brahma. So this is still Dhyeya Jnanam. Dhyeya Jnanam means that slowly you begin to, this is the thing that we should always answer in our own questions of the mind. Is knowledge happening suddenly, or is it going to take a long time? So there, as you know, the answer should be, you should know this by now, you should be very familiar with this, that the glimpses of the knowledge happen very quickly. But then to consolidate that into removing all the doubts is really, that is the transition from dhyanam to jnanam. And here, Swami Dayanandji also and everybody, they had all given good examples. But the one example that I found from Swami Maheshananji's book, I think is the best for me. And I have already talked about this fact before to you, that he said, visualize going to a brand new place. And he's actually describing this. He says you're checking into a hotel. Some van took you to a hotel in the middle of the night, and you open the back window and it's completely dark, and you have no idea what the landscape behind the window looks like. You have no idea. You don't know whether it's a jungle, or you don't know it's a developed property or what. Absolutely nothing. It's completely dark. Then, as you are opening the window, there is a strike of lightning. And all of a sudden, within half a second or so, you get an idea of what the landscape looks like. You find, oh, this is full of trees. There is no development. I'm at the end of this. This is just beautiful forest. All in the matter of a second, fraction of a second. You get it. Then it becomes dark again. Now, at that point, you have no idea whether they are planted trees or natural trees, what type of trees there are, can I go there, or is it, are there streams of water, is it approach? All of the details you don't know. Those details will come when the sun rises the next day. But do you know whether it is a developed property or yes? Very similarly is to the case that somewhere during our teaching and our learning, you get a glimpse of the Atma. And the glimpse of the Atma is that something which does not change, which is Satyam, always the same. I am always there. And I'm always the nature of Jnanam. Always Anantaram. Satyam Jnanam Anantaram. You get a glimpse of it. But then it is hidden by our natural life, then you say, you go back to I am just a human body, just moving around and so on and so forth. The Atma is hidden. So the question is, do you know this suddenly or do you know this slowly? You know both. You know suddenly. I still remember that so well. In fact, it was a private moment when our course finished in PRC. And by that time, we had already decided to separate from Chinmaya Mission. And so we became Arsha Vidya Center. And I was very, very honored that Swamiji asked me to be the secretary of Arsha Vidya Gurukulam. And so we formed a board. I was the secretary. And then he would come and stay with me in my, by that time, my new home, which I'm living now. And we had many private moments together. I would bring tea for him in the morning and wake him up and so on and take him for talks. In one of those private moments, I remember this so well. I asked Swamiji, I've been studying this for you for a while. What do I need to do next? What is it that I have to do? Because I don't feel free yet. And he just immediately, without any batting an eye, said, just remove your doubts. And then we went on to discussing. He didn't discuss, he just looked at me very straight in the eye and says, just remove your doubts. This is a fact. So this means the transition from you open the window, there was a street lightning, you saw the landscape, then it became closed again. You now have to wait for a steady light to shine on the same landscape which you got a very good idea about, but didn't get all the details. This is what it is. So Dhyana Brahma, Dhyeya Brahma, is this one here. This is Dhyeya Brahma, which means this is the mananam, this is the nididhyasanam that you have to do to shine steady light on it. And then slowly, initially the steady light is shown by somebody else. Then as you remove your doubts, the steady light is shown by your own buddhi. You can already begin to, and this is with a lot of study, with a lot of teaching. This is where teaching is very important. Extremely important, because it is good that people ask you questions. I don't understand this part of it, and you should have an answer to that for your own sake, not for anybody else's sake. And so this is why, after a lot of experience of studying and teaching and so on, your own light shines very steadily towards this fact. This is how this is how it is revealed. Anyway, so that's just a background on it. Now come to the main meaning of this verse. So let's study that. So here, in introducing this verse, Swami Maheshananji says that in verse number 26 and 27, and the 27, the one which we did the meditation today, deals with how to meditate. How to, not meditate, but how to think, how to inquire. So in number 27 it says, Sarvasya hi pranavo hi adi madhyamantas tatha evacha. This is the method you have to see, as we saw in the meditation. This is how you have to think about it. And my goodness, there is something in which things are coming up and dissolving. It doesn't appear in the beginning. But then, this is what the Shruti says. You've got to do this. Think about it. And this is the method. This is the method. Now Swami Maheswaranji says in this verse number 28, where to meditate, the sthanam is being talked about. Not the method, but where the meditation should take place. So in discussing the awareness of the meditation, it is said that there are two methods. One method is outside and one method is inside. So this is an interesting thing in the Swami Maheswaranji's point, discussing this in great length and over several, I'm just summarizing it for you. He says this inside and outside is misconstrued and misunderstood by some commentators. They say that the inside and outside refers to the mind. Swamiji says this is not correct. You cannot think of anything outside the mind. You cannot think anything. It has to be with the mind. So therefore, the sthanam is with respect to the body, not the mind. Okay, number one. So that part is now clear. So now the question is, what is the meaning of meditating outside the body? So this is doing prayers and pujas in the temples, or perhaps even looking at the Omkara outside of you when you see an Om sign and you bow towards it, and so on. So both Pratima as well as Pratika, both the word symbol as well as a form symbol can be done outside. This is outside. Here, this is not the outside, it is inside. So this is Adhyatmikam. What is this? Actually, there's another word. So there is what is called Bahirdhyanam. Bahirdhyanam means outside the body, or Antardhyanam, inside the body. Both are done with the mind. So the mind has to be involved in both the type of dhyanam. But the demarcation is the body. How and why, let us now see it. He says that the dhyanam of Omkara cannot be done until you understand the non-difference between inside and outside. This is what is called Abheda Jnanam. Abheda Jnanam. So Abheda Jnanam means where duality is at a lower level than the non-duality. Isn't it? For several reasons. Most important reason is that duality cannot be a symbol of completeness. If we want completeness, infinity, the final resolution, timelessness, it has to be non-dual. It cannot be dual. You cannot say that duality means conditionality, that I am very happy for the time being, which is okay. I am very happy that you are happy. But if you are only happy for the time being, that time being is going to go. This is not the final resolution. So therefore, any kind of bheda, any kind of duality is not the final answer. So therefore, the dhyanam of Omkara has to be both inside and outside, but it has to start from inside. And this is an interesting thing that if you look at Vedanta, you find that it is distinguished from other means of religiosity, other means of spiritualism, by starting with yourself. Very few Upanishads talk about the Ishvara start with Ishvara outside. So Ishavasya Upanishad is one of those. And so Ishavasyam idagum sarvam. So you start with saying that Ishvara is everywhere. And then you come back to yourself. Most of the Upanishads start with inside. And so then, of course, then you have to also see the presence of Ishvara outside. That is being shown here. So here really doesn't matter whether inside or outside. The presence of Ishvara everywhere has to be seen. The sthanam of the dhyanam, the place of the meditation, is the peculiarity of this verse. Not the method, but the place. So let's look into that. So the next thing to talk about is Hridi. In fact, even before that. Yeah, even before that. Let's leave it the Hridaya. Hridi means the heart for a minute, but some other things to talk about. He's given us some technical understanding of this inside-outside. There is called Samvarga Vidya. So Samvarga Vidya is a technical term. We don't have to worry about that, which is given in a lot of the Upanishads, which focuses on this same thing. But the main thing is that the Jyoti, the light, emanates from inside outside. This has to be understood. So this is given in the, for example, beautifully pointed out in the Dakshinamurti Stotram, number 4. Nana Chidra Ghato Udarasthita Mahadeepa Prabhabhaswaram Jnanam Yasyatu Chakshuradi Karana Dwara Bahispandate. This is the 4th one, which we will study in the Tuesday night class. So it says that, in this verse says, imagine a lamp situated inside a huge vessel that has holes in it. That light, first of all, lights the inside of the vessel. And then through the holes of the vessel, it lights the outside. So for example, if there is a square hole and a round hole, then it would have a square shape on the wall and a round shape on the wall. So the outside is also generated by the inside light. Of course, the inside light is generated by the inside light. So as we will study in more detail in the Stotram, this is exactly our situation. We should see this. We can meditate on this. My awareness situated inside the body, so to speak. It is not really situated inside or outside, but from the standpoint of understanding, just look at the experience. My awareness, my meaning a human form's understanding, this awareness is now emanating from me, and through the various holes of the body, eyes, ears, nose, etc., it emanates outside and it shows forms. It focuses on it lights up, not focuses, but lights up the forms. It lights up the smells. And the smell also and the form also is known to the same awareness. It is not as though I light it up and some other awareness has to make me understand. No, I am the one that is lighting it up. And I am the one that is evaluating it. It is my experience, but it all emanates from inside. And the emanation of the inside is also the same as outside. So really speaking, any time, any experience that I have where I'm looking at things or closing my eyes or just listening to music or anything, the presence of this samvit, the presence of the self is always there. Always there. So this is what would be called the sameness of the Vyashti and Samashti. So, from my standpoint, I am just an individual. But the entire world that appears to me is also lighted up by me. There's nothing left over. In fact, if there is something that I cannot see, that also I see. I see that I don't see. I see that, for example, right now I am not aware of things outside of this room. But that also I am aware of. So the awareness is never away from me. This is me. So therefore, in this inside-outside, I have to understand that the duality resides within the non-duality. The non-duality is the Atma, which is there always, always in all situations, never away from it. So this is one of the things to meditate upon on this. Then we come to the word Hridaya. And so here, with Hridaya comes Ishvara. So now let us look at these two words and we will put it all together, dual, non-dual, everything. I'm just looking at it piece by piece for a minute. But now let's focus on Pranavam hi Ishwaram vidyat sarvasya hridi samsthitam. So with that, hridi means in the heart. In the heart. The question is, what heart are you talking about? Okay, so let's analyze heart. And from there, the presence of Ishvara will be investigated. So, what is obvious is, it is not the physical heart. It is not the physical heart which beats, has a function to perform, a very most important function for a prani, It makes the prana just behave itself to evaluate and so on. It's not what we are talking about. Then what? So here the Shastra says, two things intersect where? Two things. So one is memory. Memory and the presence today. When you say me, you are the intersection of the past and the present. When you say I, me, where were you yesterday? Oh, yesterday you recall, I went there. So now there is a place which is here and now, which also incorporates the past. It all consolidates into one place. Me. Me. A continuous me. This is what is called Hridaya in the Shastra. This is called Hridaya in the Shastra. So at this point, Swami Maheshananji goes into a commentary and says that as far as many of the other points of view, in fact, I believe, I'm not an expert in this, in the Christian view also, the human form has the soul, which is not shared by animals and plants and others. The human form is the main soul. Everything else is something which is to be used. You can eat things. But the human form, and in fact, for a long time, there's no reason for us to do this, but just to give you an idea, the male form, Adam, was the one who was considered the main human form. Okay. In Vedanta, we don't, in Hinduism, in the Vedic thought, we don't think that at all. So, what we think is, wherever there is the me thought, that is the Hridaya. The me thought is in plants, in animals, in devatas, in human form. The forms are all different, the experiences are all different, but the me, this is me. The consolidation of the past and the present, and even the future, thoughts where the thoughts come in, that place is me. This is where Ishvara resides. This is where Ishvara resides. In fact, it is designed by Ishvara. The me-ness, I-ness is a fundamental part of the creation. So now you don't have to search for Ishvara. cannot say, where is Ishvara? We think that Ishvara is in some remote place in Char Dham, then that is just not completely correct. It is correct, but it is as correct as you are here now. Why? Because the me is alive, present, wherever the experiences are. That design is done by Ishvara himself. Ishvara is present there. Unrecognized, misunderstood, maybe. Unrecognized, maybe, but it is there. It is mislabeled. What is in fact Ishvara is labeled as just me. This is the issue. This is the issue. What is the total space is labeled as room space. And from it comes all the misery. If you were to see that this is the common Ishvara, not just me, but the me everywhere. This is the sthanam of Ishvara. This is the heart of where Ishvara resides. And it is non-discriminating. It is not as though only I have the Ishvara, you don't. This is where even an ant has Ishvara. Anything which is alive, even the things that are not alive, like a table, Ishvara is there, but there is no problem. There's not even an issue. The table doesn't care. The Sat is there, but the Chit is not there, because the Sukshma Sharira is not there. But anyone that has a problem, anyone who's grieving, has a Sukshma Sharira. And it is due to the fact I cannot distinguish the fact that Ishvara is me. Now we can begin to see the meaning of this verse. Pranavam hi Ishvaram vidyat. May you know that Ishvara is in fact Omkara. And if you want to enquire the sthanam, the place, Sarvasya Hridi Samsthitam. Just look at your own heart, your own beingness. And so there we will see one other interesting aspect to this later on. We have already talked about it many times. That the me, which is the ahankara. Ahankara means that me as the I thought. The I thought which is in the heart, which is the consolidation of the past and the present and the future. That I thought, me, which we call as Ishvara, is in fact the copy of Ishvara. it is not the real Ishvara. It looks like the real Ishvara. It is very much like the Ishvara, but it is still a reflection of Ishvara. How? Because there is only one being, and that one being is the Sakshi, the Atma. But that one being, when it is seen to be isolated and limited, should be seen as a reflection of the real self. So now what has happened is that the form of the reflection changes. The form of the reflection sometimes is a human being. It's kind of, you can see as a distorted mirror, so to speak. And the distortion of the mirror reflects the same Sakshi differently. Sometimes as a human being, sometimes as an animal, sometimes as a plant. And in the human being also, young, old, white, black, etc., female, male. So even though it is in fact Ishvara alone, because you cannot have a reflection without something that is reflected. It is a reflection. But a good point to start the search for Ishvara is me. And this me is the same everywhere. I. See, this is when you, as we've talked about this before, when you say, I say, I'm asking you, who are you? And you say, I said, no. That's my name. I said, I am asking you. And you say, yes, no. Hey, it is so silly. It's interesting. Everybody has a different name, but it all resolves in I. There is no plurality in I. There is plurality in you, they, him, her, it, but in I there is no plurality. That I is the manifestation of Ishvara. So really speaking, it says that not only should you know the method of meditating, Swami Maheshananji made it absolutely clear that Gaudapada's Karika number 28 tells you where to find Ishvara. In the Omkara itself. There's what he says, Pranavam hi Ishwaram vidyat. Sarvasya hridi samsthitam. Sarva vyapinam. Where is I not? And so what we do is we don't think about the similarity. We only focus on the differences. you are like this, I am like this, and so on. But the underlying content of everything is I. That I is the Hridayam. That is the Hridayam, not the physical heart, but where the me is. And this me is different from the I, because the I is the subject of jnanam, but the me is the subject of dhyanam. Why? Because before I understand that in fact, this is what happens, that I have to see, which is a big step, is a huge step. We have to go through some intermediate steps. So the dhyanam is an intermediate step. Jnanam is a big step. Why is it such a big step? Because what I have to ultimately see, that I am where the whole world resides. Everything. United States, India, sun and the moon, galaxies. This is a big step. This is what we have to get ready for. You cannot get ready for it unless you take some intermediate steps. So the intermediate steps is to see the truth, the veracity of the fact that there is me everywhere. I am just focusing on the differences, but the singularity of Ishvara as the I thought everywhere has to be seen. And even before I go to the big step, if I see this, my troubles will be half over. This is what it says, Matva dhiro na shochati. And so here, this is the verse. And here Swamiji, Swami Maheshanandji, there's a lot of commentary on this that I have not given you. He says, na shochati. He gives a commentary on na shochati. He says, really, if you look down to the bottom of shoka, of problems, it is because I take things so seriously. I take my life so seriously. He gives a beautiful example. He says, you must have seen this. I think we've all, when we grew up, we could see that. So what happens is a group of people who are playing some kind of a game. So it's a game. In and through the game, there's usually one person who has a long face and doesn't smile. So some friend says, what's the matter? You're not enjoying this? And this person says, no, I'm not, because the way my name was used in this game, I think people have an agenda. And I knew that people don't think very well of me, and the part that was given to me was such that it is an indication of the fact that people don't think very highly of me. And so you sit in the corner while everybody else is playing. So he said, no. It's just a game. But for this person, this is not a game, because you take it personally. You take it very seriously. Swamiji says this is the situation. In our life, we don't think this is a game. We don't think this is a game. My identity is in question. Who am I? What am I doing? And this is why I think I've mentioned it to you, the teenage, the 13 to 19 or some, we just conveniently just say teenage, is a very vulnerable period. Very vulnerable. Why? Because if a small child is there, they don't worry about their identity. Who am I? What am I doing? And by the time you become an adult, for better or for worse, your identity is all set. But this period there, we all want to do we want to be better than the other person, well liked. But we cannot. And how do we deal with it? So our identity is very much in fluid. But really speaking, all our life, this is the situation. And so a game like this would be very vulnerable for a teenager, but really true for everyone. That my identity is not, I'm not very happy with it, because I take it so seriously. So Swamiji says that what happens is that if you understand Omkara, you understand the method of doing the meditation, the place of doing meditation, and so on, the whole experience turns like a game. And a smile comes on your face, and you don't take anything seriously, because you should not. So this says, Anupashyati ka mohaha ka shokaha. In Brihadaranyaka also it says, I think it's Brihadaranyaka. He says, one who is able to see the reality of this, the whole life becomes a fun and game. And then nothing is touched for you. So this is the meaning of this particular verse. So here, one last thing, then I'm done. The word dhiraha, which we already talked about before, should be understood. The word dhiraha means a viveki. Means a viveki. You cannot become shokarahitaha until you understand exactly what is a reflection, what is not a reflection, how this thing is working. This is what cures me from problems. Otherwise, you can keep on doing some upasana and saying, God, please help me, this, that, or the other. He'll help you, but only for a short time. But if you really wanted to be free, you have to be a discriminative person, where you can see the distinction between what is real, what is unreal, how does this thing work. All of that has to be done. A lot of work is involved. This is the meaning of the word dhiraha. Dhiraha means a viveki. Dhira also means one who's brave. And so there's also, both of them are, become a viveki, you do need dhairyam. Dhairyam. Here Swami Maheshananji has pointed out that in the Manusmriti, a lot of smritis are, the two main smritis that are highly regarded are the Bhagavad Gita and Manusmriti. So Manusmriti goes into how should a human being behave. So the first word in Manusmriti is dhairyam, dhira. You have to go on, you have to be strong, you have to inquire, and not give up until you get to the end of it. And it requires a lot of courage, a lot of perseverance, and a lot of buddhi, a lot of viveki. So that's the meaning of the word dhiraha. And if you are dhiraha, tatra na shochati. It's over. Anyway, that's the meaning of this verse. Om swasti prajabhyam paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahishaha go brahmanebhyo shubhamastu nityam loka samastha sukhino bhavantu kale varshatu parjanyaha prithvi sasya shalini deshoyam shobharahitaha brahmana santu nirbhayaha sarve bhavantu sukhinah sarve santu niramayaha sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet asato ma satgamaya jyotirgamaya mrityoma amritam gamaya om purnamadah purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnamevavashishyate